The people that I most want to work with for Creatrix are really cutting edge agency owners. So they're already working with a variety of different brands. They do not have the time to do the deep analysis and research and social listening that is required. And they want to spend time on just executing the campaign, doing the creative project, working with teams, doing it in live time. So Creatrix can act as their support to quantify all the data, give them the backup that they need, maybe give them key insights they hadn't yet considered to put together a really comprehensive plan so that they can spend less time on their screens and more time in studio. Lights, camera, action. So Creatrix takes you to where you start. Creatrix takes you to, here's what you need to do next. Let's get going. I wanted to eliminate all these boring meetings and discussions and maybe and this and that. It's like we're all on the same page across the board. Everyone in the company has access to Creatrix. We can all visually see what's going on and why, and now we can make a plan and move forward. Like we must start in the action. Let's begin. We live in a world where the same few people have just talked and talked and talked, and we have listened and drowned in their drivel. It is the same stuff, just regurgitated, a bunch of dead, stale ideas from the 1800s. And our thought leaders and gurus, even those who seem non-problematic, and I love this example, like no offense to you, James Clear, I'm sure you're a great guy, but even in your book and blog, I think it was 94% of the people that you quote are dead, old, white, rich, American men from the 1800s. There was mention made of woman 4 times, and it was anecdotal, like Sally at the flower shop, like not even real people. So we're getting all these ideas supporting your theories, and you are just an example, but it's the same stuff. And I'm interested in a fresh perspective, a different voice. With all the generations that are coming up, we need to appeal to the global majority, not the tiny 1% of people who have told us how it is. The whole tech bro, billionaire, like it's just, I want nothing to do with it. So what I'm looking for is people who have creative agencies, creative heartbeats within them, and they want to do dynamic, interesting work, new things that we haven't yet seen before. There's no point of having the power of Creatrix in your hands and not even knowing what to do with it. So I don't think it should be with anyone who's broy. Let them do Google Analytics and SEO and that kind of stuff. But the people who want to pulse on culture and want to listen to consumer insights and take this dynamic feedback and do something extraordinary, those are the agencies and brands that would benefit the most from Creatrix. So if you are starting your own agency, or you are a top level freelancer who wants to work with some of the most progressive brands in the world, Creatrix absolutely is for you. If you are in a more conservative kind of company and you're not really interested in changing the game, but just maintaining a certain cadence of churning content, do whatever you want. Like, this isn't for that. My goal is that we live in a world that is more creative, more inclusive, more diverse, more interesting and fascinating because it listens to creatives and to people, than a world which everyone is jumping on the latest, this is how you do such and such, and every single LinkedIn post sounds the same, and everyone's using AI comments, and it's just generic and drivel. In a world where everyone's trying to be like Gary Vee, I want to be like Dochi. Like, that is what I'm interested in. So if you are part of a dynamic agency and you need a social listening, consumer insights, market research department, Creatrix is for you. It's a huge support for your team, especially people who are in social media, content creation, marketing. Let's have a conversation and see how we can customize the model so that it suits you where you're at. I like to think of the Creatrix model as like a framework of like a Toyota car. Like, that's the basic. But then when we customize it, that's more like Burning Man, like a mutant vehicle. How can you customize this so that it becomes an extension and expression of what you do and who you serve? And every agency and every individual works with different people and has different deliverables or services or packages that they offer. When it comes to customizing Creatrix, how can it take what you do as an individual or as a company and automate those tasks using consumer insights? That's when we get to the customize feature where you get to tap, all right, if this is the report that I'd write for my client, push a button, Creatrix will now do that for you. But that's been trained on your own methodology and your way of doing things. That's why every Creatrix model is entirely different. You start with the basics, which is let's listen to people, but what you do with those insights depends on what you want and how you are selling those packages or services. If you want to see exactly how this applies to your business, let's talk. To see if Creatrix is right for you, it needs to be one of two things. One is you know what you want support with and what you want automated, and we can go straight into customizing Creatrix. The other is you are in a more exploratory phase. You want to use Creatrix to test your hypothesis, to look at your different thesis, to ask questions, and you want to really be in that exploration to see what comes up and what have you potentially been missing that you can optimize or elevate into a new product or service for your company. I've been playing around for the last year and a half on all the different kinds of things that I think Creatrix is most powerful in, and I'm happy to share those with you of how these different insights can be applied into different deliverables. I've got a whole resource section of blogs, some incredible Creatrix writers who are using it for their own research and own insights. But of course, if you already have a certain way of doing things, let's see how we can take what you do and get that integrated and automated with Creatrix so you have more time just for space, just to think and dream up and let things swill and mull over. I love nothing better more than just walking and dreaming up ideas and letting all the things I've seen with the data just settle down and formulate into something truly unexpected. That's what Creatrix gives, is the gift of headspace. I don't want it to think for you. It can, but you don't need a thinking partner as much as you need capacity to dream up things that you haven't considered yet. So let Creatrix give you all those thoughts that you would have had by looking at the data, present it to you, and then let that integrate as you start to dream up and imagine what you can do next. And if you're crunched for time, obviously you can just use the thoughts that Creatrix has done for you, because it's highly intelligent and it is taking all its ideas directly from consumer insights, and you can just run with that. Of course, the minute you take something off the page into reality, it's going to be different for every person. So that's when your creativity comes into play even more.